Welcome to Locally Sourced. I'm Armanda Familetti. The British are coming. Oh, wait a minute, they're already here. Tonight my guests are from Nottingham, England. You know, the place where Robin Hood and his merry men and Maid Marian were making merry in Sherwood Forest. Well, anyways, let's get right to the show, and I want to welcome Diane and Alan Towns. Welcome, folks.
Hi, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. This is great. It's very rare that I get to talk to people who are from England for half an hour, and I can ask you anything I want, right? So that's terrific. So let's talk about Nottingham first. Where is it?
Nottingham is in basically the centre of England. It's in an area called the Midlands.
We have a map. We can put it up. Oh,
Keep
going. It'll show up.
We're approximately 90 miles from the coast. Nottingham is famous for lace making. And years ago it was famous for cycle making.
And it's famous for Robin Hood.
It is, yes. A lot of the industry though now has gone to China, like probably a lot of stuff does, but Robin Hood still remains one of the tourist focal points.
Right,
Yeah.
So we just saw a map, and maybe it'll come back up in a minute, but I just wanted you to sort of show us on the map where Nottingham was. It's called the Midlands?
It is,
So show me, so just say, so we're looking at that map, it's actually sort of on the top third and off to the right, right?
It
Nottingham. It's Nottinghamshire, right?
It's the Shire of Nottingham, yes.
Oh, the Shire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's broken up into counties, the UK is pretty much like over here. And we call them shires, whereas you call them counties, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So we live in the city of Nottinghamshire, and the capital of that basically is Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Yeah.
So how long have you lived there?
I was basically born in Nottinghamshire, not in Nottingham itself, but 4 mile away. Diane was born a bit further afield, but we both now live
3 miles further afield,
Yeah.
but counting as Derbyshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were really in the middle of the Midlands,
Yes.
Derby,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
to us looks like Derby.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we'll talk, I mean, I love the British accent, and we were just talking a minute ago about how you just go a few miles and there's a different accent, right? And
totally.
you, Americans, you know, we have some trouble sometimes understanding, but even you said you have trouble understanding some of the accents just miles
Yeah.
away from you.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, I mean, it's like Alan and I were only born about 4 or 5 miles apart, but Alan's family is from a mining community, and even they speak differently. When I first met Alan, some of the things he used to say, I used to think, what's he talking about? You know,
I think I've lost my strong accent over the years.
Yes.
It used to be a lot
Yeah,
broader than it is
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Can you do a little of your old accent for
Oh, I
us?
don't know as I can now. to be
Well,
honest.
it's not so much an accent, it's the words they use.
Oh,
Yeah,
you different,
yeah.
a different language even.
Whereas if we was talking about a young boy, a youth, where Alan come from, they'd say
Call it
yoth.
a yoth,
A yoth.
rather than a youth.
Yeah.
It was sort of abbreviating words all the time.
Yes, cutting.
But I've sort of got
Yeah.
out the habit of it over the years
Yeah.
A yoth. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you straightened him out then.
now. Yeah.
Good heavens, we'd never be able to understand
Yeah,
what you were saying.
yeah.
I think Vinny struggles nowadays with
Yeah,
some of the words we
some
come
of the
out with.
words.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
let's talk about Vinny. You're here because you're friends with Vin DeQuino.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that was an interesting story. Want to just quickly tell it? Because I know you're also appearing on Vin's show, and
Yeah.
you tell the story a little more. But
Basically,
technology brought you together.
Yes.
That's right.
Social
Yes,
media brought
social
you together.
Media,
Correct.
yes. Started with my sister making friends with Vinny's wife, June, playing the game Scrabble, word chums. They made friends on Facebook. I started playing with June. We briefly met in New York for 45 minutes, got on so well. They came over to England to visit us.
We were on an escorted
Bus tour?
tour
Yes.
in the first time we came. So the time slots were allocated for this and that.
Yeah.
So that's the best we could do at the time, the 40 minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what we did.
And then the next time you came, Vinny and June showed you around.
Yeah,
right?
after the initial meeting,
Yeah.
did Vinny come to us first?
Vinny came to us
Yeah,
first.
Vinny and June
That
came
was
to the
awfully nice of you to have Vinny over.
We took a risk, but it
Yeah.
paid off.
That's a risk. And June, who's
Yeah,
Yeah.
June and I are good friends, and we talk all the while on the game and on Facebook, you know. So.
Then daily.
right.
Yeah.
So just meeting over word chum.
Word
That's what
chums,
it's called.
yeah.
You struck up a friendship, and
Yeah.
your two families are now visiting each other.
Yes,
and
yeah.
Well, as the lady who started it, I've never played word chums yet, but
So you just came along for the ride.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's-
yeah.
Just my sidekick.
Well, that's good.
I
That's
just
good to have a-
I pay for the trips and the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do have a role.
I do, yeah,
You do.
correct.
It's an
yeah.
important role,
Yeah.
Alan. So let's get back to Nottingham for a minute. I know of Nottingham. I don't know of every shire, in
Right, okay.
England, but I know that shire because of the legend of Robin Hood.
That's right.
And was Robin Hood a real person? You probably know all about him.
He was a real person, but obviously it's got fictionalised.
I was going to
and-
dispute it because,
Oh no, our first argument on
Yeah.
screen.
Oh my!
yeah,
Well,
Go at it.
Diane's from Derby, so she's
She's a little fuzzy-brained
she's
about this.
she's
Little
accepting
foggy.
it's true, but theoretically, it's supposed to come from Yorkshire, a different county.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
Have you two ever discussed this?
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm bringing
I
up
know.
a
York-
subject now that's.
Yorkshire's stolen Robin Hood offers.
Aye.
They,
How
yes.
can that be?
But we've got Sherwood Forest, we've got Nottingham Castle. Yorkshire's not got any of that. So.
Yeah. Well, I believe that Robin Hood lived in Nottingham.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do too.
And I don't care what anybody else
Exactly.
says.
It's
you know?
easier for the story anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's actually a lot about Robin Hood in Nottingham. There's a statue
Yeah.
of Robin Hood,
There
right?
is.
And we have a slide of that as well. We'll see in a second. So, I guess tourists come there just because.
Yes.
Or not just because Nottingham appears to be a gorgeous town from what I've seen.
It's one of the major draws of the
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
though, I would imagine.
I
yeah.
mean, Nottingham now are trying to cut him out a little bit because they want to appear now as a more modern city.
Okay,
And
well,
they, you know.
Let me interrupt you. Let's get that slide back so we can talk about it a little bit. What I was amazed about that slide is that I saw another slide of it, and the people are tiny. That's a huge.
That statue must stand almost 10 feet tall, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
why is Robin Hood sort of pudgy in there? I think of him as long and lanky, like Kevin Costner or
Yeah.
Errol Flynn. He looks a little like a hobbit in that picture.
Maybe the TV's put a few pounds
Oh,
on
you
him.
think?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Look at
Yeah.
those legs.
It's
like-
probably not the best photograph of him.
And on
Oh,
that,
so in person, that statue he's thinner and
Yes.
maybe.
better
yeah.
looking. Okay.
Oh,
well,
And on that
that's-
photo, he's firing an arrow from his bow, which is now made of fiberglass. It always used to be bronze like the statue, but the tourists used to take it home as a memento.
the tourists, those
Yeah.
they're probably the ones from Derby, right?
Maybe. Maybe.
Or
Well,
Yorkshire.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought it was the
Yeah,
Americans, but someone more local, maybe.
Maybe Vinny took it
Yeah,
when he
could
was
be, yeah.
there. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, so
Just
So-
around the corner, actually, from where that statue is the oldest pub in England,
Oh.
which dates back to, from memory, 1189, I believe.
And it's-
And Vinny's been in it with
Yeah.
me, and we've all had a drink in
it's
there.
been running since
Yeah.
1189.
It's
It's
built
still
to-
standing after the wars
Yeah,
and
it's actually
everything else.
built into the rocks underneath
Yeah.
the castle.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
the rooms are just carved out of stone.
So the real Robin Hood, well, wait a minute, the real Robin Hood lived around 700?
Yeah, I'm not saying Robin Hood went in there, I'm just
Okay.
saying
Maybe his descendants.
maybe.
yeah.
They're
maybe.
probably, Robin Hood had made Mary, and maybe there are little descendants of Robin Hood running all over Nottingham.
well be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's something to think about. So, did your families come from Nottingham? Well, your family came from Derbyshire.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Derbyshire. yeah.
Derbyshire, and
Yeah.
yours came from Nottingham.
Correct,
But
yes.
my
Sure.
dad came from London. My dad was a Londoner.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. The East End, you said.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. So, and your family was always there. You
Yeah.
could be related to Robin Hood. Let's
Maybe.
just say you
we're,
are.
we're always, all the families from Nottingham, the mining areas of Nottingham, and most of the mining areas are actually under Sherwood Forest.
That's right.
Lots of the mines
Yeah.
running.
Tell me about that. There underneath Nottingham, are all these tunnels?
There are tunnels underneath the castle going through the sandstone rock, which were allegedly escape routes for times gone by.
Okay.
But where Sherwood Forest is, it's in a coal mining area, and most of the coal mines are situated in or around the forest, or were.
Okay.
Nowadays, there's no coal mining over there.
Good.
It's all gone, but all the pit heads and the winding gear there as mementos.
What,
Yeah,
a pit head and a winding gear?
yeah. The lift that used to drop people down.
Okay. Oh, like the elevator.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Elevator. Okay, cool. So, so let's get back to Robin Hood, because you guys are from Nottingham. There have been many books and TV shows and movies about Robin Hood since forever, right?
Right.
Do you?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, so what this legend started in the 700s. Wow, that's big. And then it's traveled all the way to 2020.
To modern times. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite movie or book about Robin Hood?
Kevin Costner for me. There's no better Robin Hood than Kevin
He's
Costner.
the quintessential Robin
Yes.
Hood.
Yes.
Okay. And who was his maid Marian in that movie?
Oh, I don't know. Do you? I don't know.
I don't, to be honest.
Oh,
no,
he
but-
was
I wasn't
so
paying much attention
charismatic.
to
You didn't
Maid
even-
Marian.
You didn't even notice who he was on the screen
I
with.
more remember the TV series of Robin Hood
I don't
when we were a lot
Yeah.
younger,
Yeah, I don't think we had that in
which
the
used
US.
to be a weekly show.
Yeah.
And because we were from Nottingham and it was on in Nottingham, everyone used to watch it, and that's the one that sticks in my mind with Richard Green
Richard
and
Green.
somebody Driscoll. I forget her name now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
from many years, 1950s, early 60s
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, we grew up with Robin Hood, didn't we? It was our main television programme, you know, that we
Right.
looked at.
And
yeah.
and was it filmed on location in Sherwood Forest and Nottingham? And
I think the original series was, yes. Yeah.
you
But
should have run
Yeah.
over and pretended to be, you know,
Yeah.
a merry.
I think
woman.
everyone in Nottingham was brainwashed that his theory on life was right. Rob the rich
Oh,
to feed
really?
the, to
Okay.
feed, to feed the poor. You
Yeah.
know.
So that's what still goes on in Nottingham. Is that what you're saying?
I think
No, it's changed now. The government robbed the poor to give to the rich.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So a lot
bit
like,
the U-
the United
yeah,
States.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. So I understand that you were able to play Maid Marian and Robin Hood very recently.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yesterday.
What happened yesterday? You were in the United States.
Well, when we spoke to Vinny a few weeks back, it was saying that the Renaissance Fair was on in
Tuxedo.
Tuxedo, that's right.
Tuxedo Park. The
So-
Renaissance Fair
That's
is
right.
how we'd say it here.
So
Yeah.
before we came, we got outfits for the occasion. So we bought those. We bought those with us, and obviously with being from Nottingham, Robin Hood and Maid Marian seemed quite appropriate. Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
So what did you think of the Renaissance Fair?
Enjoyed it.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did you
Yeah.
recognize anything, or did you? It's kind of like British people putting on a rodeo, you know. I mean,
Yes, yeah. I mean, we do have jousting competitions at
You
the
still do?
at the
Yeah.
castles.
They're more at
Yeah.
old castles
Old
rather
castles.
than
They-
purpose-built villages
Yeah,
like you've got
they
up there.
put on things, you know, and then we've got the oldest fair that comes every year called Goose Fair, that's been going on for centuries, and they have all the old acts on and things, you know.
So there's actually a slide up. What of Nottingham? What is
All
that?
right, that's actually
Wollerton
it's
Castle.
called Wollerton Hall. It's one of the wealthy landowners in the Nottingham area live there, the Willoughby family, and it's probably 3 or 4 miles from the centre of Nottingham in a huge parked area.
Does anyone live there anymore?
No, it's a museum now.
Okay. Well, actually, I did want to get back to what we were talking about before a little bit, which was not all Kevin Costner, but just how much the Robin Hood legend is played out in history. And I've got a couple of slides of, for example, a movie that was very popular in the United States about Robin Hood, starring Errol Flynn, and you said you've never even seen that movie. And
I've heard of Errol Flynn, but I've not seen the
yeah.
movie.
Well, you've got to see that, because that is like that is our foundation of the Robin Hood.
What kind of year would that be?
That's probably 38, 39, 1938, 39.
Touch before my time.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost going to be 100 years old,
Yeah.
really, when you think about it.
No,
What do you mean
not-
before your time? I thought, wait a minute. I watch that movie religiously. It's on Turner
would
Classic
be-
Movies, like every month.
As soon as we get back in the UK, Netflix will be on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be my sister and brother's film that they would have watched,
Oh,
because
Yeah.
they're like, well, they were 10 years older than me, so they would have probably seen that one.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we for some reason we love old movies here in the United
yeah.
States, and I think many of us just love the older movies
Yeah.
even more than
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying Kevin Costner is not good,
Yeah.
but I also had a couple of other Robin Hood slides, and just to show again how he is depicted, so we can bring those up. There's okay, so this fellow, I would think you would know, his name is Ezekiel Bone, and he is the Robin Hood tour master in Nottingham.
Right.
All
And
right,
he's
yeah.
supposed to, according to Facebook, give terrific tours, and you go down into the tunnels, and he dresses in costume.
Yeah.
It really gets very high ratings. So I guess I'm sort of saying that if anyone wants to have fun in England, make sure you stop by in
Yeah.
Nottingham.
Its
'cause it's gonna be
presence in
fun.
Nottingham is probably more aimed at some kind of tourist magazine or whatever. It's
Yeah.
not showing up in
Maybe.
anything we look at.
Maybe, and then
No.
there's another one, and the one I want to show now is of a very recent Robin Hood, because we have a Shakespeare festival here in Hudson Valley, the
All
Hudson
right.
Valley Shakespeare Festival, and over the summer they did a show called The Heart of Robin Hood,
Ah.
and this was our handsome Robin Hood from that production.
Yeah.
So, and I was mentioning to you earlier, it's in a tent, it's done in the summertime, and what you see behind him is actually the rolling hills of Hudson Valley. That's
Yeah.
not a background picture, it's
Yeah.
the actual background. The backstage is the open air.
Oh.
And so as the play progresses, the moon comes out, the sun goes down. It's really quite dramatic. It's great for something like
Yeah.
a movie like
Oh,
a
yeah.
movie
Yeah.
play like Heart of Robin Hood. So that was a little plug for the Hudson Valley Shakespeare
Yeah,
Theater.
yeah.
I hope you don't mind.
No.
It's commercial-free, public access. Okay, so let's go back to talking about how much fun it is to live in Nottingham. And we have some other photographs. And as we see the photographs, you just tell us what we're looking at,
Yeah.
right? It seems
Okay.
to me it's a year-round town, right? You can have fun
It
in
is.
Nottingham
It
Oh.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
all the time. So what's that?
That's the lace market area of Nottingham, which is now full of.
Is that one of
it-
the oldest sections? Or?
It is an old part of the town, but it's classed as a little more upmarket now, with bistros and wine bars and aimed
Nightlife.
more at the yuppie type.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we have yuppies.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
the people who think they're a little bit higher up the spectrum. than-
You don't
yeah.
approve of yuppies, Diane. That's how it sounds. We can see another photo now. Maybe we see a yuppie in it. Oh, there are two of them now, I think.
Yeah,
So that's a classic.
that's a classic Georgian street, which if you look through the woods at the back, you can just see the entrance to the castle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
that was the castle we saw in a previous slide.
No, that was
no.
Willet Knoll.
Oh.
That's to the proper Nottingham castle.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a castle.
There's a-
There is in Nottingham, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And is that where Sherwood,
Yeah, that
like
was
Robin Hood was?
Sheriff of Nottingham's residence.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
Nottingham
Yeah,
Castle.
yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. And we can show another one. So, okay, so it's
Right.
not all just historical, quaint. This
The-
looks like people are partying.
That's still in the park that belongs to Woolerton Hall, which is now a museum in the actual house. But festivals and
Yeah.
So those
music
are the grounds.
concerts
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all sorts of
Yeah.
events go on there nowadays, yeah.
They have
And this is a
food.
music festival, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have food festivals, gin festivals, beer festivals.
And they have the odd drive-in movie type.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
how much fun. Now, are the people who come to these festivals mostly locals, or
Yeah.
are they
Yeah.
tourists,
Yeah.
or mix?
Mostly locals, I would say.
The locals are having a good time
Oh,
in
yeah.
Nottingham,
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
to me. So we can see another slide. Okay.
Right.
Now this looks like a Robin Hood celebration.
Where they're walking towards now is the very centre of Nottingham, where there's the big square with the council houses on, or town hall as you probably call it here.
Okay.
And that's right in front of them. And just above the lady in purple, you can just see a statue above her. Now that's of, in England, the soccer team, Nottingham Forest. That's their famous manager, Brian Clough.
Oh.
I don't know if you heard of him over here, but
Not at all.
in England,
He's big in England,
very
big
well
in
known.
England,
Yeah.
not so much here,
Yeah.
but so people dress up
Yeah.
and they celebrate Robin Hood. What time of year is that?
Anytime, really.
Oh,
'cause
they do this.
Well, because that's probably one of the tours that will go through the streets.
okay.
You know, and yeah,
So that's kind of for the tourists.
yeah,
that-
probably those people in the front are all dressed up and follow him to set the scene.
Ah,
It is
okay.
obviously some kind of event with,
Yeah.
with the barriers and that.
Well, let's see another slide of the fun that happens in Nottingham. Okay, so what I heard when I was doing some research about Nottingham is you had beautiful libraries.
Right.
And so this is from inside one of your gorgeous libraries. And then there's another slide right after this one of another view of that same library. So I assume, it looks to me like it's an operating library, but it also looks like a terrific place to hang out and...
I'm not actually aware where that is, but
No.
I'm presuming
now,
that it
now
could...
we talked about this, Alan,
Yeah.
and you were supposed to pretend.
I'm presuming
That
that it's
you
in the
knew.
council house or the town hall.
Oh,
whi-
okay.
Yeah.
Which is right on the main square of Nottingham.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see another photo. Okay,
Ah.
so there's that square. we were
That is the
talking
main
about.
square, that's right, and that's Christmas time when they have the Christmas markets. And that area there obviously is set out for a skating rink.
Right, and you
All-
always have a Christmas tree.
All around
Yeah.
it there will be different stalls doing all
Yeah.
sorts of
Little
foods
cabins
Oh,
and
okay, and the next one?
but in that square in summer they turn
And you
it
can
into
keep that
a,
up for a while. I'm
they,
sorry.
They turn it into a beach in summer for all the kids. It's all
Right in the center of
Yeah.
Nottingham, and
Yeah.
people come out in there bathing.
They do,
Yeah.
Costumes.
Deck
Yes.
chairs, bathing
Yeah,
costumes.
they import all the sand in, they put deck chairs in, ice cream parlours, all cocktail bars,
Ooh.
and they make it look as though you are at the seashore.
And then there's a fun fair at the side of it,
Yeah.
so it's a
Oh,
proper...
Yeah.
So,
proper
have you
event.
done that? Have you gone in your
Oh,
bathing
yeah.
costume?
No,
No.
we leave that to the grandkids.
Yeah,
They can
that's for
put
the
theirs
more-
on.
Now here's another beautiful shot of Nottingham.
Now that to me looks like a place called Newark, which is probably 15 miles away from Nottingham. But
Okay.
that is Newark Castle.
All right. So there are so
And that is
many
the
of
river-
these things
and that would be the
scattered
River
around,
Thames.
right?
The River Trent, sorry, that goes through Nottingham. So
So you know,
maybe
we-
the boat would have come down from Nottingham to Newark on the Trent
Right, I
in
think
those
you
days.
can take boats down the Trent.
Yeah, you
River
can,
and
yeah.
see all the sights.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see any rain in any of these photos. We always think that London, it's a foggy day, it's a rainy day. So you do have some sunshine in
We-
in
We've had the
England.
best summer that we've
Yeah.
had this year for many, many years.
Good for you, because we had a
But
not so
even
good.
Yeah.
so, we don't get loads of rain.
No.
I mean, like when Vinny and June came over in the March, it was still quite warmish. It was.
Eddie was expecting rain every day and warm beer, but
yeah.
it was
but no.
very
So we
disappointing.
got cold beer and a warm day.
Yeah,
Oh, poor
yeah,
Vinny.
very impressed. Yeah.
So I think so this is our last photo.
Oh,
and,
right. Now
and-
the council house is a big domed building with a big fancy clock on the top, and that is the inner dome.
Uh-huh.
Obviously looking outside, and the light in the windows.
It's beautiful. It
Pulling
looks like
through.
something out of Harry Potter.
At one time, the
Do you
quarter.
know who Harry Potter is?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes.
Just making sure. Harry
Yeah.
Potter's very big over here.
It is
I
in
don't know
Eng-
if he's very
oh,
big in.
It is in England. We've got the Harry Potter studios that you go to, and you can see Hogwarts and all the things in the Harry Potter.
Now, is
Yeah,
that
it's
in
like
Nottingham?
No, that's more going towards London, and it's
Yeah.
like a big theme,
Okay.
Disneyland.
Like Universal
You know.
Everything seems
Studios.
to be in
Yes.
London, a bit like
Yeah.
New York maybe,
Yeah.
everything's in
Well,
one.
how
Yeah.
far is Nottingham to London?
It would be about 120 miles.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's drivable.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do it in a
Oh,
couple of hours, yeah.
Couple of hours,
Yeah.
and we're there
Okay.
in London.
And you have some terrific trains and tubes and
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah. We tend
Yeah.
to drive to London though when we go, and then
Yeah.
and then use the tube to get about there.
Yeah.
But,
Right, right. So I also wanted, you guys are world travelers, and that's fun. So what about, you've come to the United States twice, right? And you didn't want to come first time because you thought we were scary and we
I
would
was-
shoot you.
You know, that's it. You hear all about the guns, and also I thought it would be really, really fast paced. It's no different to London.
Oh, no, not at all.
We used to hear about the guardian angels on the
Yeah.
subway.
Oh,
so-
that's way
Yeah.
back in the
w-
80s.
yeah, but it sort of sticks with you and think it's
Yeah.
like the Wild West show down there.
Do you
but-
ever watch Law and Order?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you watch Law and Order, you think you're tripping over bodies in
Yeah.
Central Park, right?
Yeah.
All at the same place, in front of that rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So people must get a horrible idea. But
I kn-
you would tell your friends back in Nottingham, come on, there's nothing to be afraid
Yeah,
of.
no doubt, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I only said to Vinny the other day, actually, when we were in Central Park, is it still safe here?
Oh, it's
Enjoy-
probably safer than ever in
Yeah,
Central
yeah.
Park.
yeah.
Now they're even getting rid of the cars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's easier to walk around, not
There's,
have
there's
to be
nowhere
run
in the
over.
USA that we've felt unsafe, to be honest, since
No.
we've
And you've been to New Orleans,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Nashville,
Nashville,
Memphis.
west
Yeah.
at all, or south?
We've
well,
done
south is- New
Philadelphia,
Yeah. We went to
Washington,
Washington, didn't we?
obviously New York.
Yeah.
you've been to a lot of great places and
Yeah.
places around the world as well.
Yeah.
Mainly Europe, France.
Australia was my favourite. I loved
Really,
Australia.
it's such a long trip, though,
Oh,
Yeah.
to see a koala bear.
We stopped off in Singapore for 3 days to break the journey up, which was a beautiful place. Nothing like we expected it to be. It was beautiful.
Wow, wow.
But yeah, Australia was fantastic.
You know, they're waving at me and giving me all kinds of signals. So I have to say that the conversation is over. And you folks are going back to Nottingham, so have safe travels tomorrow. And it was such a pleasure to meet you. And I hope the next time I'm in Britain, I can stop by.
Give us
Yes.
a call. Give us a call.
I was
Yeah,
hoping. I mean, if you're letting
definitely.
Vinny come over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to shake your
Oh,
hand
thank
and
you,
thank
Amanda.
you so
Lovely.
much, Diane and
Thank you.
Allentown. And thanks to our crew. We have lots of them today, and that was great. And thanks to the people who watch.